Hi friends, and welcome back to another episode of Canopy Kitchen. I'm your host, Maya Henry, and today we're going to be making some delicious, crispy, fried cauliflower wings. They are going to be so mouth-watering and crunchy and flavorful, and I'm also going to be making a creamy dill ranch as well. So first, to get started, we're taking our head of cauliflower and we're going to cut it into little florets. Basically the size that you want for the wings. I like to make mine pretty bite-sized so you're not really having to take multiple bites of each one. Now what you can do as a tip to prevent less mess is just pull apart the pieces and then you're not getting as much crumble, which is helpful. And then you can go in and make them smaller. Now, if you are making your cauliflower wings larger in size, you might want to blanch them beforehand just to guarantee that they're going to be soft in the center when you deep fry them. But because I'm making mine more bite-sized, I find that blanching isn't super necessary. And blanching is the process of boiling the cauliflower for just a couple of minutes and then drenching it in cold water, and this really softens it up. Now we're gonna get right into the batter. So what I like to do is do a wet batter and then roll the cauliflower in some panko, which is a really crispy style breadcrumb. So I'm going to take my flour and use half a cup. Next I'm taking half a cup of cornstarch. And then I'm doing half a tablespoon of baking powder. Now for seasonings, I like to add in some garlic powder. I just eyeball it, do a few dashes here and there. I also absolutely love to add in one of my favorite ingredients, which is the Cool Runnings combo spice. It's like garlic, pepper, and herbs. You can pick this up in Canada at your local No Frills. It's super affordable and it adds a lot of great flavor to most of my dishes. So I just add that in as well. For anyone who wants something similar but can't find this, it just has herbs, dehydrated garlic, some oregano maybe, and rosemary. I'm going to whisk those ingredients together just so we have a homogeneous mixture before we add in our water. Last but not least, just adding in some cracked pepper and some fresh sea salt. So I'm gonna start off by slowly whisking in half a cup of warm water, and we're just gonna mix in enough water until the batter is able to be thin enough that you can do a little figure eight, but that it disappears within a few seconds. Right now it's really thick. I'm gonna add some more, another half a cup. Yeah, this is perfect, I think. So see how I can do the figure eight, but it disappears by the time I complete one figure eight. Kind of looks like ranch dressing because of all the spices I put in it, but it smells amazing. So I'm using the Hellman panko, and I believe panko is Japanese. It's super delicious when you order things like tempura with your sushi, and it has all those crumbs on it, and it's just so crunchy and delicious. And before we start battering the cauliflower, we have to preheat some oil on the stove. So we're gonna get that started right now. So the oil that I'm using is just some Mazola canola oil because it's affordable and you're gonna end up using a lot of it. So you wanna fill your pot or your wok or whatever you're using high enough for the cauliflower to be submerged at least halfway, and then you can flip them if you need. I like to put it on a medium-high heat and test to see the temperature, because you want the temperature to be right before you put the cauliflower in so that it starts to sizzle right away and that the batter doesn't separate. So when the oil is ready, the trick is to stick in a metal spoon and you'll see bubbles arise around it, and that means it's at the right temperature. And also you can use a thermometer as well, but this is helpful if you don't have a thermometer. Okay, I'm gonna do my first piece. I'm just dipping it in my batter here, and it's gonna stick nicely because it's the right consistency. You just wanna shake off any excess batter so you don't have a crazy amount. And then you're gonna roll it in the panko. Now you don't wanna crowd the pan because then it can affect the temperature of the oil. So only do a few pieces at a time, a couple of minutes on each side until they start to go golden. So I just have a paper towel lined baking tray here, and that is perfect to soak up any extra oil, and you can just use some tongs to scoop them out. I do recommend using metal tongs, just so that there's no melting, just in case. So the flavor I'm going with for my cauliflower is just the traditional buffalo, and I'm using some vegan basil and some Frank's Red Hot sauce, and I'm just mixing that in. I'm kind of eyeballing the portions because I'm not making a huge batch. So just gonna add my butter to the pan and melt it. And you just want this on a low heat. You want it to melt a bit so then it's warm when you toss in your cauliflower. And also a side note, for the cauliflower, if you don't want to use all of the cauliflower that you've made, you can actually freeze it and it will be perfect for the air fryer at a later date. So it's very versatile that way. It's something that I've done before because sometimes you want to just get all the deep frying over with in one batch, but you don't want to consume all of the stuff you've made, and it's super helpful. Just don't add the sauce, and you can freeze it and it will stay crisp and crunchy. As soon as you add the sauce, there's a time limit for it to get soggy, so I like to just have the sauce prepared and ready to add last minute. Now everyone loves a delicious dip and it goes so nicely with the cauliflower, so I'm gonna make a creamy ranch dill dip. Super easy. I've got some fresh dill here, but you can use dried dill as well. And the base of it is going to be some vegan mayonnaise. You can use Hellman's, you can use Earth Island. It's honestly so delicious that I know a lot of people who aren't even plant-based eat vegan mayonnaise instead of regular. So you can make it to your portion size of like how much dip you want. It's not really something that needs to be exactly measured. So I'm just gonna dole out how much I think is needed for 2 people. I've got some lemon juice, just gonna pour some over top. I've also got some salt and pepper. Got some garlic powder, so delish. And now I'm just gonna chop up a little bit of dill. Just gonna mix that together. Oh, it's looking so delicious. Kind of looks a little bit like tzatziki. And this is what it should look like when you're done. So now is the time to sauce up our cauliflower wings and plate it. So I just take my buffalo sauce I've made and I roll the wings in it. You can scoop a little on top, and once it's coated, you can transfer it. Looks so delicious, very aromatic, and the perfect summer treat. And there you have it, the delicious, crispy cauliflower wings with a spicy buffalo sauce and some creamy dill ranch dip. Absolutely mouth-watering, so satisfying. I hope you guys enjoyed this recipe. I feel like it's my take on this classic for vegans. It's the perfect bar food, the perfect summer food. It's pretty simple to make and it's really accessible, so I recommend you try it out. Looks absolutely delicious, and I'm gonna take a bite. So delicious, so crunchy, so much flavor. Thank you guys so much for watching today. Don't be afraid to go follow us on Canopy Kitchen on Instagram, and don't be afraid to subscribe, hit that bell notification for all the quickest updates on our next uploads, and we'll see you next time. Bye.